All right, Mr. Paul Baxter is with us today down in Florida, no less. It looks rather nice there out the back window. Paul, tell me a little bit about, you're a remote recruiter with us. Tell me about a little bit where you live and kind of how you recruit every day.
Sounds good. So I'm in an area called Palm Harbor, Florida, which is kind of a suburb of the Clearwater, St. Pete area. I'm right on the Gulf Coast. I've lived here. I'm a native Floridian. I've been here my entire life. The way that I work, I've got my desk and everything, my little office set up here, and every day I'm just, the same thing that someone in the office would do, I'm plugging along. My communication is more via telephone, do a lot of messaging and texting and a lot of telephone conversations day in, day out. I'm on the phone. And so that's kind of how I do it. I get the sunshine in the background, but don't get to play out in it too much during the week. As you know, recruiter's life is a 24/7 life.
That's absolutely true. So then today we are talking to April Moeller. Tell me a little bit about her.
So April she's an amazing person, first and foremost. She's one of the most inspiring people I have ever known. Going all the way back to when I very first met her. She's one of my first nurses. She's been with me almost a full year now. But I've watched her really have a life transformation. That's a word that I don't use loosely in this situation, and you'll get to know that when you meet her. But she's just an amazing person. She values her education, which she's got a bachelor's degree in chemistry and biology as well as nursing.
Really?
Yeah, she's done some really, really cool things. Ask her about some of her international study work that she's done with spiders. Very interesting. I'm telling you, it's an interesting story.
Spider.
Yes, I'm arachnophobic, and so we've had this conversation. I am like the most arachnophobic person you'll ever know. And she's done studies internationally regarding spiders. So yeah, very, very dynamic individual. And that doesn't even go to why you wanted to interview her about some of the other things she does. In addition to being an amazing nurse, she's a Beachbody coach, and she's actually gone through an amazing life transformation through fitness and being a traveler, and the way it's changed her life is just, she's an amazing story.
I'll be honest. So I've been following her for probably the past, 9 months on Instagram. I live on social media anyway, right? I mean, you know that. And
yeah,
I watch her daily, even though I have no interest at all in eating healthy and working out or anything. Like, I have no interest in that at all, but she is amazing when it comes to some of this stuff. And when we first started talking about doing these Atlas Life videos, she was one that I thought would be perfect for this, because not only is she an amazing traveling nurse, but she takes every one of those assignments and makes them her own. And I've seen her working out with her roommates in the background and whatever. Like, she absolutely
loves every place she's been to. She goes and she explores, and that's she's a true gypsy spirit. Just a really dynamic person. And you talked about it. I never in my life, I'm 45 years old, I've never been on a diet in my life.
Yeah.
After her most recent exploits in Mexico, it's inspired me. I am 7 days without sugar. I'm on my first diet of my life, and I'm going to start working out next week with her.
Get out. Are you really?
It's inspiring. Like, watching her has inspired me, man.
This is going to be, I have a feeling this interview is probably going to go longer than 15. We'll see. It may go longer than 15 minutes. She's
a really cool person. You'll love her.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, Paul, thank you so much for bringing her to us. And I'm going to go do that interview with her right now. April, welcome to the Atlas Life. All right, April Moeller is with us today. April, I just got done talking to your recruiter, Paul Baxter, and he gave me a little intro on you so far. So tell me about yourself, where you are, and just kind of why you started traveling in the first place.
I am currently in Reno, Nevada, working at Reno. And so I've been traveling now for a year and a half. And I basically started traveling just because I get bored really easily. And this allows me to move around without it looking really crappy on a resume. And I love travel, so it helps me explore as much as I can.
Awesome. That's great. So I know we're going to get into this a little bit, but I have been following you. I'm on Instagram all the time, and I've been following you for the better part of, gosh, what's it, 9 months? Is that about right?
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit, because you've had a pretty amazing transformation here.
So, so being in healthcare, we see exactly what happens when people don't take care of themselves. So there was a point in my life where I was over 200 pounds, and I basically looked in the mirror and I hated myself, and I continued to binge eat. And then I looked in the mirror again and I hated myself more. And then it just got to the point where like I didn't want to look in the mirror, and like I could see some of my more fit friends doing things that I was like, well, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically just decided that I didn't want to be that nurse that, one, can't do a round of CPR without dying themselves, which I know that sounds really mean, but I've seen it, and I want to have effective CPR. And two, like, I don't want to be that nurse that's like, you could stand to lose some weight, when I had a bunch of excess weight. So yeah, I went from over 200 pounds. I hover around 150 pretty much always now. And yeah, I pretty much do my workouts wherever I am, no matter where I am, and make it work.
And Paul and I talked about that a little bit. So, your Instagram stories and stuff, it's your workout regimen, what you eat. Like, I mean, you're pretty every day. Like, you've got something on there about that. And how disciplined did you have to get to that point?
So my very first program, I'm a Beachbody girl. It's no secret. So my very first program was P90X3, and I stuck to it like to a T. I lost 35 pounds in 90 days, and it was amazing. And then from there, I kind of stepped back, and I was way more lenient on everything, and I gained a lot of the weight back, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing because I was also lifting, and you gain weight when you're lifting. So I tend to eat when I'm like on the ball, and I have like I just got back from Mexico. You know that, you follow me.
Yep.
So right before Mexico, I was 100%, my nutrition was 100% all the time. But when I'm not like preparing for something, I would still say it's even better than 80-20. I eat probably 90% clean all the time, but that's because if I eat junk for like 2, maybe 3 days, I start feeling like crap. And then it's a spiral effect. Then what you eat makes, like for me, my exercises and my clean nutrition totally battle the anxiety and depression that I have underlying. So for me, it's just like a self-treatment for that.
So how hard is that to do, being a travel nurse on the road? Like, do you find it more difficult, or is it easier?
At first it was really, really, really hard, because when you go into a gas station, it's way easier to go over to get like a Snickers bar, which is a little over $1, rather than a little over $1 on a cheese stick. But I meal prep and I meal plan. So I will, like, when I'm here, I will make all my food for a week, or at least for the 4 days that I'm on, because I try to work 4 days a week if I can. And then when I'm out and about, I also know like water first, and then veggies, and then I can eat other stuff. So I try not to be like too worried about it. Like, people be like, oh, we want to go here, but you can't eat that. It's not on your diet. For me, it's not a diet. For me, I've been doing this, and it's a lifestyle. Sure. So it's gotten a lot easier. I can now make it clear across the nation without eating junk in a car, which is really hard because like hot tamales are my go-to. I will eat like a whole bag of hot tamales in like a 30-mile stretch. And then I'm like, oh, I can't feel my teeth. Oh, the sugar.
Do you still
get the sugar makes me tired. Like, everybody gets that sugar high, but you crash hard, and you don't realize that until you're like insulin and glucose levels are pretty normal.
Yeah.
So
Do you still get cheat days though? I mean, do you still get those days when you can do
yeah,
that?
absolutely. I'm a brownie junkie. So to be fair, most of the time my brownies are not going to be like the Sara Lee or Betty Crocker brownies I used to have. Now I have chickpea brownies.
Yeah.
But like I said, when I go out to eat, I definitely splurge.
Mhm.
But most of the adults have the issue with like alcohol. Everybody goes out and they just have a drink. I don't drink at all.
Mhm.
So like I automatically kind of have those extra calories that I can have.
Sure.
But also most places offer small desserts. So that's cool if it's dessert wise. I'm also really big on like trying different foods depending on where I am in the like you can't live in the South and not have fried chicken.
Right.
You just can live in the South and not have fried chicken for every meal.
Sure, that makes sense. And that's one of the questions I love to ask because one, I like to eat, and two, I like to go to breweries. So like how when you're out there on the road, you still can experience the food of wherever you're at.
Yeah.
And still do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Like street vendors, like I'm a junkie for that kind of stuff. So I don't generally hesitate. I just don't stop at every one of them anymore.
Okay. So like street tacos would be okay, I assume? Like that would be.
Oh, tacos are like, okay, you follow me. I eat tacos every week.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Tacos are like one of the easiest things to make healthy. It's meat, veggies, and like a shell.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm all about the tacos.
So I got to ask, and Paul brought up a couple things, and there's one that I'll ask you here in a minute. But so Paul is, I'm pretty sure he's my age. He's probably I think he's mid 40s, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And he told me he's never been on a diet before, and he's never worked out, like legit worked out. You got him. He's 7 days into this now. You got him to try this.
Yeah, he told me that he was like dairy-free, grain-free.
Sugar. He said sugar was his thing. Like that.
Yeah, and sugar. And people don't. That's hard. He's like going cold turkey into this, and I'm just like, oh, because honestly, I don't eat much dairy, and dairy's a huge thing with people because dairy causes bloat. So like when people cut dairy, they get like high from results so quickly. But sugar, the headaches when you cut sugar is just terrible.
Really?
So to cut it all at once, I'm just like, dang, dude.
You're not inspiring me to cut sugar out here at all. So,
and, honestly, it depends. Like me, I love fruit. So when I was cutting sugar, I was just like loading my body with fruit. It's still sugar.
Yeah.
It's just better sugar. Right.
It's just better sugar. Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay, so Paul brought something up. So you, not only are you a nurse, but you did some international studies on something like super interesting. Talk to me about that.
So I'm not sure which one. When I was in college, I did quite a few international things. We went over to Europe for basically we were collecting spiders.
That's it.
So I was over in we were in like Prague most of the time. So we were in Prague, and then there lots of beer there.
I want to go there someday.
Right. We were in Austria and Italy, but yeah, we were collecting spiders, and then we brought all of them back to the US, which just is really, really weird. Like when you go through customs, they're like, what is in all these cases? But it's just spiders to see if we could identify any of them. And I'm not exactly sure how, without like studying the actual spiders in their habitat, they were determining it, but we were trying to determine some of their mating. And that was above me at that level, because I was, I don't know, I think I was a sophomore then.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I would rather spiders never produce ever again and the world be rid of spiders.
Spiders do so much for us.
I know, but
yeah, I studied entomology later in college as well, so like bugs don't bug me at all.
Dude, gosh, snakes are fine. I'm fine with spiders. No.
Yeah.
No. Just doesn't. No. So interesting.
Yeah.
So then how did you go from that to nursing then?
So I actually, I have kind of a long college career. I originally wanted to be a doctor. And so right out of high school, I moved to Southern Illinois, and I did about 3 years of biology pre-med.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up moving back to South Dakota, and nothing transferred, and I was heartbroken. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? I have all this education, all this knowledge, but nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
So I decided I would go for a 4-year degree that I didn't necessarily have to go to grad school if I didn't want to. So that's where the nursing came in.
Oh.
I was still in the medical field. I was still helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually dropped to the 2-year program. And then when I was finishing my bachelor's, the RN to BSN,
mm-hmm.
I got my bachelor's in biology and did a bunch of chemistry stuff as well. So I actually have a couple degrees, and now I'm to the point where I'm going to be applying to grad school. And so I just keep accumulating all this
that's
knowledge, because
awesome.
I get so bored, and I'm like, this isn't enough for me.
That is really cool. I think you should talk about that more as your Instagram stories and stuff like that, because that's, how do you find time to be a nurse and work out and eat right and go to school and, right? I mean, that's a lot of stuff, and that's a lot.
Yeah. When I was finishing my bachelor's, I was going to school full time, and I was working 2 part-time nursing jobs, and obviously doing my workouts.
Mm-hmm.
And I coach people. So I have a whole team of people underneath me who are transforming their lives at the same time. Yeah. So I have to make sure I'm tuned into that, which really is easy because, with social media, we just follow each other. But
right.
I also don't want to miss any of their tiny little successes. Yeah. So I have to just stay on that. And I love it. That's it's amazing. I absolutely love it. My mom joined me. My mom's lost 140 pounds. So everything I have done, and that's one thing I've learned, is everything you do is a ripple effect, and it will affect everybody around you. Yeah. So, yeah.
Baxter, I mean, he's living proof of that, right? Dude's not overweight, right, at all. But he's just like me when it comes to some of that kind of stuff, and I never would have thought in a million years that he would try this. And sure enough, I think he's going to succeed. I really think he's going to.
So originally he contacted me about somebody in his family joining or something like that. And then, he was just he came to me and he was just like, you know what, I'm going to do this. We're going to get all set up. I just don't know how diet works. And I was like, well, I got you.
There you go. So real quick before we wrap up, and this has not been anything like any of the other Atlas Lives we've done before, and I knew it was going to go that way, and I'm so happy that it has. Talk about your tattoo. This is something new, right?
Oh yeah, this is new. I'll show you. I'm on my bed in my bedroom here, so it's pretty big.
It's awesome.
In nursing, it's really, really tricky. You never know. Am I going to be able to have tattoos? I have my ears pierced like crazy too. And actually, at my last contract in South Carolina, they made me take out my earrings. And I was like, really? Really? This is affecting how I care? Okay.
All right.
So I took them out, whatever. And so I've wanted a sleeve for a long time. And when I decided to come over to this side of the nation, I was like, well, they're more lenient over here. Do I want to? Do I not want to? So I looked around for a long time to find my tattoo artist, and I was super, super hesitant because of my job. Mm-hmm. And the more I started looking around, the more I see other people. And then I said, I wear long sleeves under my scrubs most of the time anyway.
So you can cover it up. Yeah.
So I started it. And I kept my whole arm off social media for 5 weeks because when I first started, it was just the lace. So I didn't have the flowers or the skull. And it was just holes in my arm, and I hated it. So I was like, no, we're just gonna hold off. And then I got some flowers filled in, and then it even looked more stupid because then I just had like this open. I was like, nope, just gonna hold off. So yeah, I kept it off social media for 5 weeks, and then it got on social media, and people were like, I'm sorry, what? What's all that?
Yep.
I actually had a couple friends accusing me of photoshopping it.
Really?
Not like legit, but they were like, dude, seriously, what program did you use? I'm like, the program where you go and you sit for 30 hours and get tattooed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really fun. I just want to look at it all day long because I love it so much.
How many hours do you have invested so far in that then?
About 30.
Okay.
And it's done. I kind of wish I maybe would have done another skull here, and I could.
You could
come back to that easily, but I wouldn't want another tattoo artist to work on it. At least not yet.
Are they there in Reno? Is that where that artist is?
Yeah, it's Danny at Black Cat in Reno. I try to tag him if there's like a picture where it's like my tattoo is like clearly visible. I try to tag him.
Okay.
So he gets
send me, and we'll do some stuff. We'll do some stuff afterwards, and I'll have you send me some photos and stuff like that. Send me like his like Facebook or Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
On the bottom here, because we have a ton of nurses in Reno right now.
Yeah, there are. Renown is 60% travelers. So.
Yeah. And we have there's a giant chunk there. Like you're one of 50 or 60 of ours, maybe. I want to say at last count. I mean, it's a lot.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's a ton. So. Awesome. April, thank you so much for being with us today. I really do appreciate it. I told Paul when we first started thinking about doing these videos, like I had just started following you because of Paul there, and I follow you. I mean, it's the Atlas Instagram, which I'm on all the time. And so when you see Atlas liking your photos, that's me. So I told Paul, I said, April would be perfect for this, not only because of, she's a nurse in Reno, but she lives that lifestyle to the fullest.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you again for being with us, and we'll see you on the road.